Hello and namaskar to everyone. Today we are going to discuss about Ricardian theory of rent. Okay. This theory was propounded and developed by the famous classical economist David Ricardo in his book Principles of Political Economy and Taxation, published in the year 1817 AD. Ricardo was a British political economist. He was one of the most influential of the classical economists, along with the Thomas Robert Malthus, Adam Smith, and J.S. Mill. He restricted rent to land alone. According to him, rent is that portion of the produce of the earth which is paid to the landlord for the use of the original and indestructible power of the soil. This theory holds the view that land has the original and indestructible power of the soil, that is, the fertility, right? And for the use of this power, tenant has to pay a certain amount to the landlord. And this portion of the produce of the earth is called rent. In this way, we can say that rent is the payment made by the tenant to the landlord for the use of land, for the use of the original and indestructible power of the soil. Okay. Now let's move on to some of the assumptions of Ricardian theory of rent. This theory is based on some assumptions. And some of the assumptions of this theory are, the first one is rent arises from land only. This theory holds the view that rent can be obtained only from land, and land is used just for agricultural purpose. Second one, there is no rent on marginal land. Marginal land means the least fertile land, okay? And in this type of land, its cost of production is exactly equals to its production. So there is no differential surplus, that is surplus earning. That's why there is no rent on marginal land. Third assumption is land differs in fertility and situation. Not all the plots of land have similar situation and fertility. They differ from place to place, right? So some plots of land are more fertile and nearer to the marketplace, and some are less fertile and farther from the marketplace. So they differs in fertility and situation. Next one is different plots of land are cultivated in the declining order of their fertility. That is, the most fertile land is cultivated first. Okay. Suppose there is a newly found island and some people go for their settlement. In that case, they will start cultivation from the best type of land. And the last one is law of diminishing returns applies in agriculture. This law, that is the law of diminishing returns, tells us that when we use more and more units of labor and capital, then the marginal productivity of successive units of labor and capital goes on declining. Okay, so these are the important assumptions of Ricardian theory of rent. Now moving forward, let's discuss about Ricardian theory of rent under extensive cultivation. According to Ricardo, different plots of land have different productive power. And as we discussed earlier, in case of new settlement, that is newly found country or newly found island, in the beginning, people cultivate the best type of land. And this theory is also associated with Malthusian theory of population. That's why as population increases, people have to cultivate inferior land also. Okay, when there is increase in population, there will be increase in demand for food grain. And in order to meet the increased demand for food grain, they have to cultivate less fertile land, that is the inferior lands also. Okay, and the excess of the production on superior land over the inferior land is differential surplus, and it is the rent of the superior land. Let's discuss these things with the help of this table. There are 4 grades of land. They are A, B, C, and D grades. And this D grade is the least fertile land, also called marginal land. Then the other grades of land, A, B, C, are the intra-marginal land or the superior land. And they are in advantageous position. They produce certain extra. They get some extra earnings or differential surplus. Now look at the D grade of land. In case of this one, production of this D grade of land is equal to its cost of production, so there is no rent. But the other grades of land, or you can say intramarginal land, they are in advantageous position, so they earn some extra, that is rent. Okay, so 40 minus 10 is 30 quintal is the 30 tons is the rent of this A grade of land, and for the B grade of land 20 tons is the rent, and for the C grade it's 10 tons. Okay, in this way intra-marginal land, that is the superior land, earns surplus, that is rent, over the marginal land. Moving forward, let's talk about these things with the help of this diagram. Okay, and in this diagram you can see that there are 4 grades of land, and they are measured along the x-axis. So grade of land are measured along the x-axis and production along the y-axis. And this bar represents the total production of A grade of land, that is 40 quintal, and out of that, when 10 tons are deducted, 10 tons are deducted from these 40 tons total output, then the remaining 30 ton is rent of this particular plot of land, A grade of land. Similarly, for the second one, 20 tons, the rent of the B grade of land, and 10 tons, and for the D grade of land, there is no rent. Okay, no rent. In this way, we can see here that the table and diagram, there are 4 grades of land, A, B, C, D, okay, and they are arranged in declining order of their fertility. That is, A is the most fertile land and D is the least fertile land. Gradually, the fertility, that is the productivity, is declining. And D grade of land is the least fertile land and referred to as marginal land, or you can say no rent land, because there is no rent on marginal land. Then the other grades of land, A, B, C, are intramarginal land, or you can say superior land, and the excess of the production over this marginal land on the other grades of land, that is 30, 20, and 10 tons of food grain, are rent of these plots of land respectively. In this way, we can explain the Ricardian theory of rent. Now, moving forward, we are going to discuss about criticisms of this theory. Before that, you can see here in this diagram that this portion, the shaded area, is rent, and this portion, this unshaded area, represents total cost of production. Okay, so it's cost of production. It's cost of production, and this one, the D grade, is also called no rent land, or you can say marginal land. Okay. Now let's move on to the criticisms. There are different criticisms of this theory, and some of them are, the first one is no original and indestructible power of the soil. According to this theory, land has original and indestructible power. But critics point out that with the constant use of a plot of land, its productivity goes on declining. And when we use fertilizers, then we can increase the productivity of that particular plot of land. So man can increase or decrease the productivity of land. That's why we cannot say that land has original and indestructible power. Next one is historically wrong order of cultivation. According to this theory, the best type of land are cultivated first. But critics are of the opinion that those plots of land are cultivated first, which are nearer to human habitation. Okay, so the order of cultivation given by Ricardo is wrong. Next one is rent arises for all the factors of production. According to the modern economists, rent is equals to actual earning minus transfer earnings. And rent arises not only for land, but also for other factors of production. Next thing is wrong assumption of marginal land. This theory holds the view that there is marginal land and marginal has no rent. Marginal land earns no rent. But in real life situation, if the area is densely populated, there is no such land, which is called marginal land or no rent land. Next one, rent arises due to scarcity of land. Okay. And the last one is rent is the price paid for the use of land, and as of the other prices, rent can also be determined by the interaction between demand and supply. So there is no need of such separate theory. This is all about this theory, and whatever be the criticisms of these theories, this theory is very much important because this is the basis of the other theories of rent in economics. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much. Thank you.